Wait for it. Can you hear that? I'm in a nor'easter right now, and it is super raining and super loud. I think my attic might blow off the top of my house. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this episode, we're gonna talk about social marketing not being the strategy you should go with, because it is not a strategy. I was listening to an episode of one of my favorite podcasts with my good friends, Brian and Jordan from Bootstrapped Web. Definitely tune in. They don't have as much of a constant cadence anymore, but definitely check it out when they publish an episode. Loads of information in there. But the conversation came up that they're both running sort of a SaaS/services business, and they're trying to, like all of us, try to figure out how to grow our businesses, how to connect with customers, how to make more money, and generally grow awareness in the business. One of the examples that they brought up is sort of following other companies that they are either aspiring to be or just colleagues of theirs, and how the owners or co-founders of these businesses so social. They, as Jordan I think labeled it as community marketing, like they're building communities, they're forming attention around their product or service, and they are not the only ones I've heard sort of want for this kind of thing. A lot of folks out there are saying, I'm building my product, I just don't know how to build that audience, I don't know how to connect with people. But the issue is, they look at it as a strategy that they have to put together. Like they have to sit down in a log cabin one weekend and just bullet point and flow chart and sticky note on the wall of how they're going to attack this particular vertical in their business. And if you're thinking that way, that's the problem right there. Social marketing, community marketing, for me, it's in the fabric, right? It has to be in the person. It can't be something that you sit down and formulate your approach, your attack on connecting with people. Because if you're thinking of it that way, how do I coerce people to engage with me? Well, they're not going to engage with you because it's going to be a very sterile conversation. If it's very scripted and very, purpose-driven to just try my product or try this new free thing that I have, I think most of us are sort of conditioned to that in the year 2018, that it's just marketing. It's just more marketing gimmick. Give me real conversation. Give me real story behind your business. Because in my point of view, that is the last thing that we have left, which is super scary for some people. This is the thing, like if it's not an innate thing for you to do, to share what you're working on, or jump into a conversation on Twitter, or leave comments on Facebook posts, it's gonna get pretty dicey for you to open yourself up. If I've said this before, if it's not in the fabric of who you are and what you do, and how you live your life or your business, the values that you lead your company with, it's going to be quite challenging for you to all of a sudden be this personable person that's making connection. It's a different thing, right? To have a conversation with a whole group of people or tell your story, there's a lot of stress involved. There's a lot of uncertainty, right? Am I who they expected me to be? It can be super difficult to make this work. Again, if you're not really ready for the challenge, don't just come out and create the storyline and either falsify it or script it or force it if you're not really ready for it. And we're gonna talk about some of the ways that you can sort of prepare yourself and how you can approach this. But certainly, if you're not ready to make this leap, do not force it, because it's going to come out as a forced dialogue, and people just are not gonna listen. You're gonna be totally disappointed with the results that you might be looking for. We'll talk about that in a moment too. All right, so if you're looking for a way to sort of get into this and sort of be that social butterfly that so many other founders are doing, YouTube live events, Facebook Live, Twitter podcast videos, all this stuff, like 5 things that you can do to sort of start warming yourself up to be that social person that you're trying to become. First and foremost, it starts with routine. I mean, a lot of people are looking at it as like, how do they have time to jump in these Facebook groups and have these conversations and record these podcasts? You have to find the time to do it. You cannot have an excuse for not having time to be social. And this is the crux in all of this. Is a lot of people say, I don't have time. It's really just an excuse because I don't want to be social, right? I don't want to be transparent, or oh my God, I feel weird sharing this thing that we're doing on Instagram. It's really less about the time than it is about you being too cooped up and not willing to sort of open up the kimono. And that is what you have to get through. Creating a routine so that it starts to become a little bit more natural. And I said, don't force it, don't script it. But if you have to start a routine, start a routine. And that could be checking Facebook groups that your product or service aligns with, and just going through and dipping in with some conversation. I mentioned this in another video, that is actually going to be a great way to drive traffic. A lot of people are talking about how do I drive traffic through organic search and paid advertising, but what about community or content or comment engagement? How much traffic are you getting back to your website or just generally on you by having conversations with people through a blog post or a Facebook group, right? So start that routine, whatever it is. Facebook group, Twitter, messages, recording a podcast, recording an Instagram story, those types of things to really start to say, okay, I got it. I'm warming up, right? You're stretching, you're getting loose, you're ready to get into the game of becoming sort of this social individual for your business. Number 2, how do you get into that routine? Well, if you think about dieting, right, what's the one thing everybody does on January 1st? They throw out all their food. I'm not gonna eat anything. I'm just gonna eat kale bites and ice chips, right? That's all I'm gonna eat. So you throw away everything. And you are just sacrificing so much mentally and nutrients for your body. You have to start small. Drink more water. Stand up more when you're working at your desk. Go for walks at lunch. Really start to go with baby steps into this new thing that you're trying to get into. Same thing here with content and social. You have to start in a channel that you're gonna feel comfortable with, that won't be overwhelming in the beginning. So we were just talking about Facebook groups and leaving comments. You can do that right from your phone. You can do Instagram right from your phone. You can do a lot of live streaming right from your phone. So it's super easy. If you're not ready to be on a live stream or start, putting your face out there, that's when you say, okay, what's gonna be the proper channel? Maybe it's just Instagram. Maybe I'm just taking a photo of the stuff I'm working on or the new feature my development team is working on, or check out this blog post behind the scenes of what my marketing team is working on, and you're just snapping photos with Instagram and you're just putting it up there. And you're at least engaging in that way, but really showing people you're a human, right? Here's maybe my son eating breakfast with me in the morning as I check my email, right? Probably bad parenting advice. Tip number 3, it goes along with everything we were just saying. You're starting your routine. You're finding your 1 or 2 channels that you're really good at doing. You can sort of handle this new load of work on you on the daily. Don't script it, okay? This is the time where you have to dig a little bit deeper. You have to say that I'm not doing this just for the attention of selling my product or my business, but you're generally interested in sharing who you are, who your company is, who's behind the scenes. And even that, I'm not talking major brands. I'm talking, you as the freelancer, you as a small digital agency, you as a small software product team. You really have to showcase who you are. And if you're a founder out there, it has to start with you. Many of you follow Gary Vaynerchuk. I'm so sick of talking about Gary Vaynerchuk in a good way, but look at him, CEO, business mogul. It's his face, for better or for worse. You have to approach it that same way, because to me, that's the handshake. That's the doing business. It's the last thing we have left in the online space that will compete with our competitors and keep an audience or customers true to what they're buying. What are you getting with your dollar? What are they getting when they spend that money with you? Who is behind this business? I think it's very important that we just don't lose it all to the robots and these big businesses. And, now these things just become pure transaction, and it's just cost-based and feature-based, never about who the people are. Tip number 4, it's weaving in the professional and the personal, right? Which, again, super difficult when we talk about not scripting it and just being off the cuff kind of thing, and just here's what's happening during the day. Don't worry about, is this content good enough? The idea is cadence, and it keeps coming at people to consume. But number 4, it has to be a little bit of both. Like I just said, who are we doing business with? Why are we doing this business? And that's for you to decide on how much or how little you do of either. But I can only recommend that bearing it all is the best route possible. It starts to make you feel a little bit more confident. You can really start to see yourself in a different light and learn things about yourself that you never knew before. And you can really practice that. You can practice it by talking in front of your camera without recording, right? Have conversations, have these dialogues with yourself, these little mini public speaking sessions if you're into that. And that's a great way to train yourself and practice these types of stories. Last but not least, number 5 is don't expect this return on investment. Don't expect this immediate result. And I know we hear that about a lot of things in business and in life. You don't expect these immediate results, but it's so true. It's not something that you're just going to immediately measure. So I know that and I say that because I know most people who struggle with that thought is they're very objective focused, where they're like, okay, I need to reach this goal. It's $5,000 a month. How do I go get it? It's day 17 in the month. I'm at $2,300.25. I still got $1,700 or $2,700 more to go. How do I get there? With this stuff, it's just not going to be that cut and dry. What you can measure, though, it's not to say you can't measure it. What you can measure is engagement. You can measure, are people tuning in, right? I'm doing a live show. I see 17 people watching the live stream, and next week I see 20 people watching the live stream. Maybe a little bit more cut and dry is people subscribing to your YouTube channel. You start to see the numbers tick up. It's not going to be this massive explosion, but as long as you're seeing it go up over time, that's a good thing. And even if it sort of plateaus, it's okay. It means you probably still have to work at your craft, work at your messaging. And the problem is a lot of people just can't live with that. They want to see those immediate results. Don't worry about that stuff. Just worry about making that connection. People should really want to serve their audience first, serve their customers or their potential customers. The other thing that you can't measure is word of mouth. The more you're exposing your stuff or yourself, and the more you're putting content out there in the form of storytelling, live streams, that kind of thing, and this community social marketing, the more it resonates with people that are 2, 3, 4 degrees away from your customer. Oh yeah, I know this guy, like somebody's watching it, they'll never be your customer, but they just like to watch it. They like to see what you're doing. They like to see what you're up to. Maybe they're just generally interested in it, but they might never be your customer, but they are watching it. Oh yeah, I know what they do. Let me go, I saw this in another group. Somebody was looking for let me go connect them with this person. That's a perfect way of how this stuff sort of resonates and sort of has this ripple effect online. All right, that's all I have for you in this episode. I hope you liked it. If you did, thumbs up. If you did, twice, subscribe to the channel. There's a notification bell I guess I'm supposed to be telling people about now. Hit that notification bell, ring the bell if you want to stay connected with immediate stuff when I publish them out there. mattreport.com/subscribe. Leave some comments below. Let me know if you're in the same boat. Do you have problems connecting with people, selling to people? Are you looking for strategies to sort of just warm up to this whole idea? Are you a rock star with this stuff? Tell us in the comments below how you do it and how you connect with other people in your industry. See you in the next video.